like a Hellcat.
All right, everybody got a mic check? About a fist from your mouth.
Mic check, 1 2 1 2. I'm good. I'm always good.
Yeah, you're good.
See, told you.
I'm always bad. I've expected the worst.
No, you're good.
What?
The first time.
I'm good.
I'm panicking. Okay.
Nah, you're great.
Everybody's like, I'm good. I'm good.
No, you're great.
I'm panicking.
I'm panicking.
This is gonna be a good podcast.
Yeah,
I know
think so.
like 3 subjects we're gonna talk about.
All right, so let's talk about it. Tech talk.
Introduce us.
Yeah. So guys, we went live. We're gonna try to go on live every Thursday. That way, I don't have to like break them down and fix them and just wait to post them. Normally, Trevor be sitting in the seat that I'm in right now because that's his job now. But Trev is out with COVID, so we're waiting on him to get better and get back. Anyway, I'm Coach Jimmy. This is Jay Shields. We done another podcast with him, but we haven't posted it yet because I'm a slacker.
Yeah, I missed that one actually.
And then we got Bam and Coach Taylor. So I did a live video on Facebook, and I asked the world. I said, "World, if you had only 1 year left to live, and you're healthy for that year, but you only have 1 year left, like the day you're gonna die, a year from now, what would you do? Like, what would your life look like? What would you do different for that whole year? You knew, like, all right, it's over.
Money's not an option, or kind of option, or just whatever you
right now, whatever you have, whatever you're capable of. If all you had was 1 year,
and that was a fact,
oh, all you have is 1 year, what would you do?
I think I know, like just off the top of my head, without people giving me ideas. Of course, quit my job. There's no point working that last year.
No.
I would want to drive across the United States. I've always wanted to do like the old Route 66. I would drive it, and then I would also do like the Pacific Coast Highway, and like just do like an ultimate road trip and see America and see like things that interest me that I want to see.
What would be the point of that?
Just to enjoy my time. Like that. Like I'm not gonna hole up for a year in my house and not do nothing, and like there's no point in just continuing to live the current life, Like I love training and stuff, but if I know I'm gonna die, like I want to go see something. Like I would explore America and see some sights and mountains and lakes and views, visit places.
I gotcha. So, Taylor?
I don't know. I really don't know. I'm sitting here thinking about it. And I mean, I was joking before we started the podcast that I'm so tired that I'm like delirious and stupid right now. But I like my life right now. I don't know that I would do anything any differently. I would still keep working, still paying down debt where my family isn't left with it, and just.
Would they be left with it though if they didn't sign with you?
I don't know.
If they have no, like, I guess it depends on the kind of debt, because it will go to like your estate. Because like I wouldn't even worry about my mortgage. That ain't gonna fall on nobody. Just repossess my house. Don't care. That ain't gonna fall on my family.
Don't care. I don't know. I like what I'm doing right now.
Jay?
Honestly, I see myself doing like some kind of underground fighting type deal. Don't know why. But I mean, I would try to get as many fights as I could before I died, because that would be what I want to do. I know I've been wanting to fight all my life. I only got a fucking year left. I mean, I'm gonna try to fight as much as I can.
So 3 vastly different answers. Like I'm talking about going to see like Boston Red Sox at Fenway and America. She wouldn't do it, like change anything. You're gonna fight. Like, what would you do, Jimmy?
Underground Fight Club, apparently. Straight up, the first rule of Fight Club: we don't talk about fight.
You've already broke the first rule. Y'all
broke the first rule.
Y'all already got kicked out.
We done got kicked out.
They already.
Jason, I'll start my own.
Guys, let us know if the sound is right. It seems like it's peaking
You
here.
got people watching now?
I can't tell. I don't know how to use this stuff.
You
I
hand it
stream
off.
on Twitch.
Mm.
I'm not a YouTube streamer. I'm gonna start streaming here though. So that is what it is. Anyway, no, honestly, what I would do, I enjoy my life the way that it is. I've created my life in the last couple of years to do this, and I enjoy it. I would continue coaching. One thing that I would really, really strive for is I'd want to get my black belt like before past or whatever, because I've been in this 20 years and haven't earned that yet. So I want to earn that. The funny thing about that is like I want so bad to like give people my jiu-jitsu, like what I do, how I do. And I spent the last 7 years kind of building our style of jiu-jitsu and the way we do. It's like a lot of what we do is like it's mine. And the way that we do stuff, the way that we pressure, the way that we hang our weight and do everything real, it seems real, like high output, but it's not. We have lazy jiu-jitsu. It's like get position, put your weight on them, and make them move. And then put more weight on them, make them move, make them uncomfortable, make them move, make them uncomfortable, let them move, and then hang them with their movement. And that's our style of jiu-jitsu. And I really want people to carry on my style of jiu-jitsu. So I don't think I would change anything. And one thing that I know I'm going to do even now is I'm going to start doing a lot more seminars and sharing what I think is important in grappling. And I'm going to go around. I've got 3 of them kind of nailed down. I got several that I'm supposed to do, but they're so far away. Like from here, I got to make the time to make the trip, and I just got to start doing it. And that's something that I want to do, is go around doing seminars. So if somebody said you got 1 year left, I would just travel and go to gym to gym to gym and just do seminars and like teach my style of jiu-jitsu and share. Try to leave that behind for everybody. I think that would be my answer. As long as I stayed healthy for the whole year,
Yeah.
So, what are you guys' answers? Leave it in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you guys get notifications when we do this. I was actually supposed to go live from Tech Talk, but I went live from Coach Jimmy. So this podcast is going to be on my Coach Jimmy instead of Tech Talk. I just realized that. She said it a minute ago, and it didn't click until just now.
But you'll have it saved so you can post it on Tech Talk as well, right?
Yeah, I'll have it saved so I can post it in both places.
Okay.
This should have went live on Tech Talk, though. But it is what it is. We'll get it. We'll figure this stuff out. That's why we need our man Trevor here to keep me straight. But
yeah.
Anyway, so there's that. There's our 4 answers, I guess. Bam, you had some other topics you wanted to bring up and talk about?
Yeah, there's a few actually. Do you have some topics, Jay? You got a notepad?
Oh no, I just seen it. I just picked it up.
Okay.
He wanted it. You just blowing his cover. Jay was trying to look intelligent, holding a notepad.
But you don't even have the didn't even have the camera on him.
You just blew his cover.
You didn't have the camera on him, so it didn't matter. The first thing was we had planned to talk about this, and we did a podcast, and we said we would wait for Taylor for this one. And specifically, I want to wait for her to join on this one because she had an experience as well. And I figured we could compare the experiences and just talk about it. And for those that follow me on Instagram, they've already heard this story because I posted it on my story. And everyone in this room knows the story as well. So I was at Walmart. It seems like everything always happens at Walmart to me.
Yes.
Especially in this town. I fucking hate Walmart. I'll go on record. I hate Walmart. But I always need something more than like one thing, and it's the one-stop shop for everything. So anyway, at Walmart, and this could have happened like way different than what it did. But I thought like there's things I thought I could have done differently. But thinking back, I think like for the situation and for it not to escalate, I handled it well. So I'm at Walmart pushing my buggy, and I see this guy like loop around and get behind me. And I'm walking, and I'm looking out the corner of my eye, and I see him walking behind me. Never, let me put this out there, like I never felt like in danger or like spider sense is like, okay, there's something wrong. I saw like his group of buddies up ahead, like 5 or 6 of them, and they're looking and like starting to giggle and stuff. I'm like, okay, I know what's up. Like I'm the butt end of a joke. They're having a good time. And they just seem like some young punks. That's exactly what they seem like.
Bam's fixing to be the world star of the knockout game.
So I could and I keep glancing, like I see them, and he's closer. And he gets close enough to where if I would have swung my hand around behind me, I would have slapped him. Like he was that close. And thinking back, like I could have easily done that, like swung around, like what the fuck you doing? I didn't though. Like I never, I never felt in danger. I felt like they were doing, a joke. They're young punks, and like the way you were raised, Jimmy, like you being a fighter. I feel like you would know, like you could tell if someone was about it.
Right.
I never got that feeling from them, like they were about it, like would fight or throw down. Like I never felt in danger at all. I'm just like they're having fun, but don't make me the butt end of your joke. Like okay, I'm not going to give them the reaction that they're expecting. So I keep walking, and he's doing like a funny step behind me. I don't even know if he notices it. I notice him. I wait till I'm in between. I'm in his group of friends. So I'm surrounded. I stop and start walking backwards and walk right into him and step on his shoes. That's a bonus. I did not intentionally step on his shoes. I happened to step on his shoes. I wholeheartedly meant to bump into him. That was intentional.
Because I think in the Boondocks scene, every time he says this, like when Stick Meaner found him outside of the mall, it's like, I smell new shoes. You got to watch the episode.
I've seen all the Boondocks. Yeah, I've seen them.
New shoes. New shoes. That episode.
What's his name? Uncle Ruckus?
Yeah, Stick Meaner and Granddad.
Yeah.
It was outside in the mall and he stepped on his shoes.
I felt like this could have been one of those moments. I can't say it.
And that's what I think. That's what I think.
You know what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Like one of those moments. So anyway, I start walking, start walking backwards, bump into him. And I'm like, oh, excuse me. And then I just keep walking forward. And I cut over like a couple aisles to where I could still hear what was going on. But
now you're eavesdropping on them.
Eavesdropping. Because now I'm like, okay, let's see how they react. Because now if they, depending on how they take it, they might want to look for me. Now, okay, I can hear them. Like, okay. Because I was ready for a fight, but I wasn't looking for one.
Were they clowning on him?
That's it. So I could see out the corner of my eye that he was flabbergasted, like, what just happened? And all his friends,
Stop using them $5 words.
Flabbergasted.
All his friends, as soon as I started to walk backwards and bumped into him, they sucked in air, like, whoa, what?
He stepped on the shoes, man.
So I hear them. They're
Don't nobody step on my shoes.
So I hear them, and they're like, kind of clowning him, like, dude, oh, that was fully intentional. Like, he saw us. Like, he meant to do that and all.
Gassing him up.
And I'm like, so I wait, and I go, do a couple circles. I'm looking. They have gone by this point. I'm like, okay. If I bump into him again, I bump into him again. But every time I'm going down the aisle, I'm looking just in case. If they want a confrontation, okay. We'll do a confrontation. But I don't want to get blindsided. So I end up going to the grocery side. This happened over by electronics. I walk over to the grocery side, and I'm actually in the wine aisle. You know what? I might grill this weekend. I'm going to buy me a bottle of wine. Again, I'm an adult. Do what I want. No one tell me I can't. So I'm sitting there looking at the wine. See this guy. He comes around, and I see him because he has this white shirt on, so he stood out. And I'm like, okay.
Here we go.
It's not over. So I hold the bottle of wine because I don't know how many they were going to use, but I know how many were in that group. So I'm holding my bottle of wine. And he comes up, was like, hey man, like over there, like, he kind of stepped on my shoes, and I feel like it was intentional. And immediately, like, I see his friend filming, and I'm like, oh, so they're continuing with this. They won't, yeah, like around the corner filming, exactly like that. And I'm like, I'm not going to react the way they want, and I'm not going to get in a back and forth argument. I'm not going to escalate it. I'm just going to play it cool and then see where it goes. So I'm like, oh, yeah, I bumped into someone over there. I didn't see him. I said, excuse me. And he's like, no, homie, these are $170 shoes. I'm like, I sure, like, I apologize already, so.
It's like, okay.
I'm like, okay. And
now what?
And he stares at me. His friend walked up beside him and was like, man, hit him. I'm like, this dude that they had gassed up, like, you could tell in his face, like, he didn't know what to do, and he really didn't want to do anything, but his friends have gassed him up, and he's trying to save face. But I'm not giving him the reaction that he wants to save face. Like, I'm not arguing. I'm not creating a confrontation. He's filming, and you see all these things that go viral, or you don't know what led up to it, but someone looks like a jackass. I'm not going to be the jackass. So I'm like, I already apologize. And I just stand there and shrug, like, all right. I know if they're going to do something, though, I'm about, like, he's a hefty boy. I'm front kicking him right in his stomach, and then his friend's getting a wine bottle in the head. And then we can see where it goes from there.
Bam's got a plan.
Yeah, he was going to use that wine bottle before the
Yeah,
barbecue.
so, but then his, like, you could see, like, he was defeated. He, like, his shoulders slump, and he holds his head. He turns around and walks off, and his friend just stares, like, back and forth between the two of us. He turns around and walks off. He gets to the end aisle, and I hear his friends bust out laughing. Like, he's still, like, they're still on him. But there's nothing he could do to save face. And, like, that was the end of it. There's many times during that where, like, I could have been in danger. It could have escalated. I could have been made to look like a jackass. I could have swung around and hit the guy, and no telling what would have happened. But the vibe I got from him and how I handled it, I thought, like, that was the best case. I don't know. I was going to get your thoughts on it, and then we could talk about Taylor's. Like, Taylor's situation, her interaction, a lot more dangerous than, like, what I felt. Like, I'd never, like, I giggled. Like, I was laughing about it. Like, I called you laughing, like, dude, you never know what just happened.
Yeah.
So, like, so what do y'all think about it?
I would have whipped my hair back like that and accidentally headbutted him in the face.
Sorry, my hair was in my eyes.
My hair was in my eyes. It's like,
Yeah. And see, like we always say, I could have easily just swung around and be like, whoa, I was scared. Like, what are you doing?
I was scared.
But see, I never felt that.
Yeah.
They just did not give that vibe off at all.
Just blast double him. Take him down. Hammer fist him. What's going on? This dude snuck up on me out of nowhere.
He's trying to get me.
I was
That's right, you.
scared.
He's trying to get you.
He did try to get me.
So
I don't know what
would you have done, Jay?
Off, Bam Bam.
What would you have done?
I know.
Jay?
I would have did the same thing you did. I would have shook my hair. I definitely would have turned and been like, where is it again? And like I'm pointing towards the aisle.
Oh, dude, that
just so,
Smack him in the head.
just so I could hit
if
him.
I had someone with me, that would have been the move. Like, oh, what's up? Bam!
It'd be like this. It'd be like, it's over there.
Oh, for sure. I'm turning hard. Oh, you're there? I'm sorry.
Should have been that close.
Didn't even
And
know you were
I
there.
forget this because this has been a month now. But like after he said, like, you know, these $170 shoes, I'm like, you walking kind of close to me. He's like, that's when, like, he's like, no, like, I went down the shoe aisle, like, you did it on purpose. And then that's when I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna.
He would have fought me. You spent $170 on that shit?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
What are those?
Thinking about it, that's one of those where I could have, like, I could have really made him the butt end of the joke.
Yeah,
Like,
you-
what are those?
I would have 100% went in on that. I'd have been like,
You spent $170 on that shit?
Like, what are you wearing?
I'd have been like, did you feel something hit you when you walked out the store? Back down here? 170 for those? Those ain't even J's, my man. Nah.
It's so funny. You can always look back and think about things, but when you're in
Yeah.
that kind of situation, it's like, All right. Well, what are my options?
Well, exactly. And
I never experienced that.
Well, in a situation, I'm like, one, I don't want to react the way they expect me to react.
See,
And I'm not going to be like made to be the butt end of the joke or the jackass. That's the only thing I knew going in. That's it.
I agree.
And I was actually going to say this. It reminds me, like, you don't give the reaction they expect. You did this before when y'all went to get the ping pong table. And someone was talking about, like, I heard y'all talking shit. Who's talking shit? And you're like, yeah, I was. And he just immediately.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
And he's like, well, what do you mean? Like, why?
Why are you doing?
Because he didn't, like, no one was talking it, right? Like, you tell the story.
Did we tell that story on here?
No, we haven't. So go ahead. Like,
I will let Taylor tell hers. We'll let Taylor tell hers, and I'll tell mine.
Mine's definitely not as good as the ping pong story. Mine is actually slightly terrifying.
Like, yours is
the
more.
guy's in jail.
We'll give the good story, and we'll give the good story, and then we'll give your story, then we'll give the ping pong story.
It's one of them things. Compliment, critique, compliment. Was a funny story. Now the heavy,
Dun, dun, dun.
and then we'll go back to the funny story.
Right.
There we go.
No, I don't know. That guy tried to get me. Like, so I was, it was the day of the competition, the kids comp that we were doing, and we needed water for the ref. And so Jimmy asked me, hey, will you run go get some waters for us? And I was like, sure, no problem. So I'm in his truck, and I parked in Eastman. There's a gas station, and on the other side of the gas station there is an ice machine. So I was like, well, I'll just go there and I can get a case of waters and ice all at the same time. Won't have to go to two separate places. So I'd already gotten the waters, put them on the back of the truck, and I walked over to the ice machine, and some guy pulled up in a car and started talking to me, and he had a mask pulled up and he had an accent, and I couldn't really hear him. And so I was just like, yeah, have a good day, and walked away from him. Well, I had my bag of ice. I was on the back of the truck, and I had to empty the cooler. So it took me a little bit. So I'm over there, and I'm emptying the cooler. And he pulls up behind the truck and, like, blocks me in. And I was like, what's going on? And he gets out, and he's like, you need to come with me. You're so beautiful. You just need to come. You need to come. And he grabs my arm and tried to pull me in the car with him. That was like, no. And I just kind of pulled my arm back. But I had already thought, as soon as he touched me, I was like, I'm going to have to throw this dude. Like, this is one of those situations where this dude about to get me. And he was trying. And he kept saying, he was like, just touch my body. You'll never leave me again. And he ended up telling me his name. He told me where he lived. And so I told him. He kept on for a couple of minutes. And I kept trying to, brush him off. And I told him he needed to leave. And finally, I was like, listen, I'm leaving. You got to go. And he finally pulled away, and I didn't think, I got back to the gym, and I was like, this guy just tried to put me in his car. But I didn't feel like, oh, no, he's this terrible person. I just thought he was a creepy old man. And then I get on Facebook. My mom calls me, and she said, you need to go look at what I just shared. And this same guy was trying to pick up teenage girls, like walking down the road, and was trying to get them. So I ended up having to file a police report, and they got the guy who then was like yelling at me in the police station and waved bye to me as I'm walking out.
Still trying to get you.
Like waving. I was like, oh my gosh. But anyway, they got him for simple battery, for grabbing me, and for endangering children or soliciting a minor or
and there was
something
actually
like
a warrant out on him.
Yeah, in Florida, because he was from Florida. So he's still in jail. He's got some felony charges, but it was crazy because thinking back, like if that would have happened to me 5 years ago, I would have probably been like, oh no, please leave me alone. Like I would have been like this little squeak of a mouse. But this time I was like, dude, if you don't let me go, like I'm gonna boom you. And I thought about it, and I was like, oh, I could take care. I'm not scared of you. It was like one of those where I kind of wanted to stick my tongue out. But, yeah.
It's like, ooh, danger. Ooh.
Yeah. Well, the thing, if it was, I would have felt like I would have been in danger 5 years ago. But this time I was like, this creepy old guy, he's not going to do anything. Like, just leave me alone. I felt like just kind of shooing him off. I didn't feel like I was in danger. I felt like I could take care of myself if I needed to. So I was just, and then when I found out he was trying to get kids, I was like, okay, maybe I should tell someone about this. Because I know this guy. Like, he told me his name. He told me where he lived. And y'all, this guy was getting ready. He was getting him some girls because they caught him laying tiles in a shed in the middle of the woods.
Oh, see, I hadn't heard that part.
Yeah.
Say what now?
Yeah, because the officer stopped and talked to us. We were walking. He was laying tile. He had bought land in the middle of the woods and had sheds put up and was laying tiles down.
You done bust like a sex trafficking ring.
Yeah. Like, he was trying to get girls for real.
Shit, like
like he had actually gotten like land and set up like a
Almost like a RV park.
like a gated community, like RVs, all kind of stuff out there. It was kind of crazy, and that's what he was wanted for in Florida was basically stalking and grabbing minors.
Mm-hmm.
that's a good thing you did report it then.
Yeah. Because looking back, at first I felt bad about it because I was like, he didn't do anything to me that I felt warranted getting arrested because I didn't feel
Threatened.
Yeah, like I was just like, okay, he's a pervert. Like there's been worse. But then like more details came out and I was like, oh my gosh. But I know that he knew that he wasn't doing anything wrong with me because he had been too sneaky. Like in Florida, they had arrested him several times and had nothing to hold him with. So with me, he knew that I was of age. He knew that he wasn't doing anything wrong. So that's why he told me everything that he told me, like where he lived at and everything. And he used the story that he was from Florida and he bought all that land in case like they had to evacuate Florida and for his family to come. But it was nuts.
Deep in the woods?
Deep in the woods, laying tiles in sheds, trying to pick up girls.
Yeah,
How crazy is that?
That's nuts.
I didn't know that.
I hadn't heard that part.
Mm-hmm.
I know that Georgia, mainly it's because of Atlanta and Macon, but I know Georgia is one of the hubs, like, throughputs for sex trafficking.
Oh, Savannah's one of the biggest places in the world.
Because of the port.
Yep.
I know Atlanta because the airport is the busiest airport in the world, they said.
Yep.
So it's a major hub for sex trafficking.
Yeah, Wade said it's because Jimmy would rip him apart.
No, that man wasn't even worried about you. That man said, because I told him, I said, we on Tech Center, and he was like, oh, I don't care about him. You just come with me. I was like, okay.
I was waiting.
I don't think you understand.
I was waiting, like, when you got back, or it was the day of the kids' comp, getting ready to start it, and I was waiting, like, for Jimmy to say something, but in my head, I'm like, so we about to ride back over there?
No, this man was just like, all right, you made it here. Let's go. Like, we got to start competition. He wasn't even concerned.
Like, I was kind of like, did he, like, when you look outside, did he follow you? Let's go see if he's here.
No, like, no one was concerned.
This is what you have turned me into, Jimmy.
No one was concerned. Mr. Mail was like, well, you should tell someone about that. But that was the
I think my reaction was, did you throw him? Like, when
it was like, what did you do?
Like, did you boom him?
Yeah.
Like, that was my reaction. Like, what'd you do?
I was ready. Like, I had a plan in my head what was going to go down if he didn't let me go or if he touched me again.
Nothing ever goes according to plan.
No, but I had...
You make plans and God goes, ha!
Yeah. Because, I mean, he had blocked me in, so I had to do something. He had to go somewhere.
See, I want to buy one of those, like, the knuckle dusters. It's just like the big ring, and it's made to punch somebody.
Oh, gosh.
Golly.
It's called like a knuckle duster.
Never.
Brass knuckles?
Well, what you can get, what it is, like, brass knuckles, see, depending on where you're at, they're illegal. It's a deadly weapon. But the knuckle duster, you can say, oh, that's if I get trapped in my car. Like, if I run into the river, I got to bust the window out.
Well, not now, because you just announced to the world.
Well, that's what it's for. And that's what it's advertised as.
But only plan I have ever had for a fight is not to die. That's Wade. That's a good plan.
Yeah, mine was not to get got by that man.
Hey, all right, guys. So just for the people that are just now joining us, at the beginning of the podcast, we asked the question, if you only had 1 year to live, if you were going to be healthy, you knew you was going to be healthy, and you have 1 year to live, what would you do? We all gave our answers at the beginning of the podcast. So you can go back and watch that if you're just now joining us. Let us know in the comments like what you would do if you only had 1 year to live. You were going to be healthy for that year, and like you could do anything you wanted to do with the resources that you have right now. What would you do? And now Bam just told his story about where he had some kids messing with him in Walmart, like trying to shine on him. Taylor tried to get kidnapped.
I did not try to get kidnapped.
She tried to
Someone
get kidnapped
tried to kidnap me.
at Flash Foods at the ice
Have a
bins.
good day. You come with me. You come with me. Have a good day.
No, I was like, no, you got to go.
So, my story. Taylor was actually with me. Bam did not go with us.
I did
Smart
not.
choice.
Yep. So Bam didn't go with
Well, I heard
us.
about after the fact, and like it's one of those like,
I wish I went.
yeah, like man, like just for like a show.
I mean, y'all don't never do shit when I'm with y'all.
Go to Walmart with me. I always see some crazy shit. Always. Me and you after class, we're going to just start running to
We just
Walmart.
Yeah.
start going to
Just go on
Walmart, just
adventures.
walk around.
Just 15 minutes, we'll do a lap, and then I'll take you home.
That's what my one of my really good friends, she always picks on Jimmy because all of his stories are at gas stations. Like always. And then that happened to me at a gas station and she was like, you've been with him too long. His juju's rubbing off on you.
So, ping pong story.
Actually, our stream says it has poor streaming.
It's still recording though, so we can post it, right?
Yeah, it's still recording. So, guys, if it's messing up with you, just let us know. Wade said, "You ever seen Boondocks Saints?" We was just talking about that earlier, Wade.
Yep.
That's funny.
Look at Jay's face.
New
Me
shoe.
and
New shoe.
see, that's different. There's Boondocks and then Boondock Saints.
Yeah, it's different.
They're both great.
I agree. All right, guys. So here's the story that I had. Definitely gonna run that. We're definitely gonna run that cable so that we have internet straight to it. Anyway, so here's our story. We had a student start here. He's a friend of ours. He started training here. He was here for about a month, and then he goes, Jay and I can do work. That's what Wade said. He goes, hey man, will you help me get my my ping pong table? It'll take about 3 or 4 of us to load it up. I said, yeah man, after class we can run over there and get it. And I said, yeah, we can run over there and get it. He was like, all right, cool. And I was like, don't it fold up? He was like, yeah. I was like, all right, so it really won't take but 1 or 2 people if we take it apart. He said, no, it's going to take 3 or 4 people.
It's going to take the gang.
Yeah.
Bring everybody.
And
He had done thought it through.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, well, let's go. So I asked Zach. It was me, Zach, Jacob, Taylor, and Chase.
Yes.
And we all just was like, yeah, let's do it. So we trained that night. We got done training. We head over to the dorms to get this ping pong table. We get there, and Chase is like, there's a guy meeting him at the door to let him in because it's locked, right?
Yeah.
And he opens the door. We go upstairs, like these flight of stairs to this room. We open this room, and there's 17 people
They're having a party in there.
in this room. And they're all standing around the ping pong table. And I'm like, oh, shit.
At that moment, you're like, wait, are we still in the table?
We still don't know.
We
We
still-
took it.
We took it. But, so I'm looking around the room. I'm just like, holy shit. And then Jacob, this is how I know how many people is there. Jacob looks around, and he goes, we got this. I said, what? What do we have? And I'm working my way to the back corner. Like, I just walk past everybody to
We're
the corner.
all like in the edges of the room.
And I'm
just
getting my
over
back
there.
to the corner because this is not comfortable. Chase, without missing a beat, he like pulls out this little ratchet set. Like, this little bitty ratchet set. He pulls it out. And he's like, yeah. And he's like, crawls under the table, and he's like ratcheting it while they're playing ping pong.
They're in the middle of a game.
Yeah,
And
and
he
he
didn't
just
say
starts
anything
taking this
to
thing
them.
apart, just ratcheting it, taking this thing apart, and then this guy, he goes, "There's a matter of money." Chase just slides out from under the table. He's like, "Is it your fucking money? All right, then shut the fuck up. Don't worry about it." And he gets back under the table and he's like going back to work. And I'm like, "Oh shit, what are we doing here?" And then the other guy was like, "Nah, somebody owes somebody some money." And then the other guy was like, "Yeah, you owe us." It was like $20 is what he said.
I was about to say like a paddle or something.
Yeah, because
It was something
the guy had
crazy.
bought like 2 of the paddles or something for, he said 20, but Chase was like, "I was standing there, I bought the table and 2 paddles. You bought 2 paddles for $10. And Chase flicked $5 at him. A $5, like a crumpled up $5 bill, just flicked it at him and said, "Here, that's $5. That's all the fuck you getting from me. You've been playing on my table for this long, blah, 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 blah. Like, fuck your couch," pretty much.
He was going in.
And,
he wasn't scared.
He went back under the table and was taking it apart again. And the other guy wasn't having it. He was like, "No, you gonna pay the money. You gonna pay them the rest of the money. We ain't doing that." And Chase come out from under the table and he was like, "Listen, man." He was like, "You really don't want these problems. And you see these people I brought with me, you really don't want those problems." And he was like,
You see that guy over there? He owns a mixed martial arts school.
He was like, you really don't want those problems. Best thing you can do is shut the fuck up and mind your business, boy." And I was like, "Oh my God, we got to go." Taylor is walking around. She has a text in her bag and she's grabbing paddles out of people's hands. Like, "Is this your paddle, Chase? Is this paddle yours? Is these come with you?" And she's like filling the bag up with the paddles and the ping pong balls. And I'm just standing there like, "Oh my God." And so now I'm like, I don't know if we're just bullying these people out of their ping pong table and Chase just took us to take it, or if we're supposed to get the table, if it's really Chase's table. I'm not sure at this point. But what I am sure of is there's 17 of them, because Jacob counted them out loud. And then said,
"We're good."
And then said, "We're good. We're about to have some fun." And I'm like, "No." Like, "No, I just wanted to pick up a ping pong table." And so now that Chase like folds the thing up in the middle. He took everything apart. He folds it up in the middle. Taylor and everybody goes down the other way. Me and Chase are pushing the table. We go to the elevators. This dude walks with him. The dude asked...
The one that let us in.
Yeah, the one that let us in. He asked me, he goes, "So you train?" And I was like, "Yeah, I own tech center, man. Whatever." He's like, "Oh, cool." And Chase was like, "Yeah, that dude didn't know what he was." I was like, "Nah, dude, that ain't like that. It ain't like that." Like that, I said, "Nah, I mean, if he would have jumped on us or something, it'd been different. But yeah, we ain't like that." And I was like, just saying basically like, "Oh, I would have stood up for myself, but we ain't come here to fight anybody or whatever." And we walk down
And then we
and go
unleashed
through
Jacob.
We go through the alleyway, pushing this big ass ping pong table through like the middle of the college, down through the dorm, through this alleyway to the car, and they're loading up the table. I'm standing off
Was
to the
it
side.
Cochran or Eastman campus?
It's in Cochran.
Okay.
I'm standing off to the side, and this dude like, "Hey Chase, you forgot your fucking black light," and he threw this black light out the window. Now I'm standing here by myself. Everybody else is over by the truck. That thing busted at my feet and just, and everybody was like, "Oh shit, if that had hit Jimmy, oh my God." Like, and I was like, "Nah, it's cool. Like, it didn't hit me, nothing."
It's not my lot.
It's not my lot. Like, I'm not mad or anything. Like, I'm not like that, you know? And I'm just kind of standing there. And
But if it would have hit you,
I probably would have been pissed if they hit me with a lot. I don't think I would have went back up there though. They, like, I don't.
there's 17 of them.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how it would be.
But the point is, it didn't hit you.
Yeah. So, but now these guys are peeping out the door. And they keep opening the door, closing the door, opening the door, closing the door. And then this guy, he comes running out the door. And he's got his chest puffed out and his arms down to his side. He said, who's out here talking shit? Y'all out here fucking talking shit? Y'all, what's up? Y'all want to fucking talk shit now? And he's just screaming. And Zach goes, well, what did they say? You tell me what they said and I'll tell you who said it, since somebody's talking shit. No, y'all motherfuckers out here talking shit. Talk shit now. What the fuck? Y'all talking shit. And he's just screaming. And Zach asked him again. He said, what did he say? Tell us what they said and I'll tell you who said it if somebody said it. No, y'all motherfuckers out here talking shit. I said, I said it. And the guy looked at me and I said, I said it. Now what? Now what do we do? He goes, what? I said, I said it. I was the guy. I'm the one that said it. Now what? Now what do we do? Now what happens? And he goes, why would you do that?
Yeah. And see, that's
His tone immediately changed from, oh, y'all motherfuckers, da, 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 da. And then I was like, no, it was me. Now what?
right. And see, that's what made me think of that story. That specific part right there. Because telling my story, like when you don't react the way they think, like you give them a whole different reaction, it changes. Like it just changes the whole demeanor and it throws them off.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you just did.
Yeah, I was like, now what? And when I said, now what do we do? He said, why would you do that? That's literally what he said. And I was like,
So did Jacob lose it right after that or before?
it was after.
Okay.
It was after because
another guy came out.
he said, he goes, why would you do that?
Okay,
And
but the funniest part in all of this to me, while all this is going down, is he has walked out where there's like some stairs and you can see a wall inside the door. Like all you see is the wall and all you see is about 10 heads sticking out the side watching us. Like all you see is their heads in a line just watching what was going down. And you could just see them just... And it was the funniest thing because they were just hiding. Hide and watch.
Yeah, they would like stick their head out
Yeah.
and then come back. Stick their head out, come back. And they've been doing it the whole time. And when the guy said, why would you do that? I'm like, I don't know. Now what? And I'm just sitting there waiting, right? And like I done walked over to the thing. Well, the guy walks back inside and then they stick their head back out. And then they stick their head back in. And then they stick their head out.
Like
and they said, just get the fuck out of here. And Jacob this whole time has been uncomfortable. That's why he counted everybody. Jacob was like, let's just go. It was like, I don't,
he doesn't like confrontation at all.
Yeah, he was super nervous. He was like, let's just go. I don't want to be here. Like, he literally said that. He said, I don't want to be here. Let's just go. Like, man, it's a $50 ping pong table. Like, it's not a big deal. Like, don't worry. You don't even need that thing. You're probably not even going to put it back up. Let's just go. I don't want to be here. He said that probably 5 times. And then he was like, hey, guys, let's don't argue with him. Let's just load it up and get out of here. Like, he was ready to leave. But then the guy stuck his head out. I was like, get the fuck out of here. And Jacob, like,
lost it.
flipped a switch. Because I just had this interaction. They threw a black light at me. I asked the guy, now what? The guy stuck his head, a different guy stuck his head out the window and said, just get the fuck out of here. And Jacob went, y'all want to stick your head in and out of the door like a bunch of fucking meerkats? You bunch of pussies? Let's go. And the guy was like, what? And Jacob just started walking up the stairs, like, towards him. And I'm like, oh, we're doing this. Yeah. So I start walking.
He's walking behind him.
I'm at the side.
This next funny part, you're talking about Zach bouncing off of him.
So I'm walking. Jacob is walking beeline. I'm over here, so now I'm beelining. So me and Jacob are like even. And I'm trying to, like, get there at an angle. Like, so I can kind of be like, no, we need to
not be behind them,
but
be that buffer.
Yes. Zach is trying to stop Jacob, and this is like 230-pound Zach. He's standing in front of Jacob. He's like, no, stop, man, stop. Jacob grabbed Zach like under his boob, like under his armpits and his boob, and just launched him. I'm not making this up. He threw 235-pound Zach about 5 feet.
A couple times. I kept bouncing him back.
Yeah, he done it. He landed, and by the time he got there, he done it again. and Zach was like, no!
He was mad.
And the dude wouldn't come off the steps, but he was still ta. And Jacob's like, let's go, motherfucker. Come, I'll meet you on the steps. Let's go. And he's just screaming at him. And the guy's like, walks in the door. He walks out and says something else. He walks in the door, and I'm like, "Come on, dude!" Like,
and you're telling Zach, like, "Let him go."
Yeah, I'm like, "Let him go. He wants to go. Let's go." And it's time now.
He's such an instigator.
I'm like, it's time now. Shit. And
he didn't instigate, and like
until it got to the point
that I don't see that as instigate. Like we're here now.
We're here now.
Yeah. U-17 Meerkats have escalated this. Now we're here.
Yeah,
they were funny. Nothing happened, needless to say. They did.
But no, there's still some more to this story. So that happens, and I get to the bottom of the stairs. So I'm at the bottom of the stairs, and I'm like, Jacob's still arguing. I'm like, y'all, strap it down. Let's get out of here. And the other guy was like, I'm sorry, man. Yeah, y'all just need to get out of here. Y'all got y'all's table. Y'all just leave. I'm like, yeah, all right. But neither one of them, none of the guys, anybody that was acting tough would come off the stairs. They wouldn't come all the way out of the door. When they did come all the way out of the door, it's because we was on the other side of the parking lot. We leave, and we're on our way home.
No,
we got
I forgot about this.
We got the ping pong table strapped to the truck. We're riding. I get a notification on my phone. Ding. I look at it. These motherfuckers had left us a Google review that said we use our powers for evil.
We bullied them.
That we bullied them. We showed up at their school. That review is still there on our Google account. It said that we that we showed up aggressive and bullied them and used our powers for evil. Yeah, that we used our powers for evil. And Jacob called me. He was like, "You want to go back over there?" Because when he realized they done that, because I screenshot it, I said, "Guys, we use our powers for evil," and posted in our group chat. Jacob was like, "Fuck them all." He got mad all over again and wanted to go back. And I was like, "Nah, that's fine." So we all reported the comment. Reported it as fake. Said the guy had never been in our school and died or whatever. But nothing else ever come of it. But it was funny, man. It was funny.
And to this day, you don't know whose ping pong table it was.
No, not to this day. I don't have a clue whose ping pong table that was.
Just get Chase in here training one day, because he does pop in every now and then. Like, hey man, just shoot me straight. Whose table was that? Right. It's over now. Like, whose table was that?
That's funny.
It was crazy though, because if you know Jacob, you would not expect that reaction from him. Because he's the most laid back, easygoing dude. And then he's just all of a sudden like, I'm going to kill everyone. Like, out of nowhere. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was still just standing there with my little bag of paddles and balls. Like,
that she collected from everybody.
Right. That was my job. That's what I was told to do. And I did it.
She just walked up. Give me that. Give me that. Is this yours? This is yours too. Here. No, let it go.
Yep. The wallet too. Come off that.
Put your wallets and rings in this bag. No, but we left there with 2 cornhole boards. The bags.
Those do have his initials on them though. He can't deny those.
And then we had 2 cornhole boards, ping pong table, and like 4 or 5 paddles, couple balls. But anyway, that's my story.
Okay.
Now what?
Now what? And
Well,
yeah. So had a couple other things we could talk about. Like I feel because we had a couple week break because we had you redid the ceiling in the gym, which looks great.
Glad that is over.
That was an ordeal.
bro, I'm so happy that's
But
over.
next thing I had for us to talk about is actually because of Jay. I'm glad Jay's on the podcast with us. Like we were just it was after training and we're just BSing, and the question really is like it's about like mat enforcer. So the perception of a mat enforcer, especially like when someone's new and they see what's going on, because I'll let Jay tell this like his thoughts and the way he says it, like it's funny to me, and because I don't really remember it, but
It was his first day.
it was like he had just started.
Yeah, it was one of my early weeks.
Yeah.
Like early.
Like, what did you see? What was going on?
I had just got done rolling with somebody, and so I look over to my right, and bam, and somebody's rolling in front of the cage. So I'm like, okay, it's a good roll. Like they're going at it. Well, Bam was going at it. So I'm like, okay, they're going, and I'm watching. He's just hitting triangle after triangle after triangle, and I'm like, well, what did the guy do? And I'm just watching him just fuck him up constantly, and I'm like, well,
Mounted triangles.
and I'm just like, did he do something wrong? Was he too hard with somebody? So I'm looking around the gym to see if it's anybody else that's like in pain or something like that and complain. Everybody's like chill except them two. And so I'm just watching, and I'm just watching, and he takes his back, hits a back triangle, and chokes him. And dude's just laying there like
He was not asleep
he wasn't asleep, but no,
because I don't remember putting anyone to sleep in this
He
gym.
was just tired or something. Like he just laid there, like he did like this, rolled off of him, and so he's just laying there, and Bam's just looking over him like.
I don't believe I done that.
You looked over him, and that's what made me look like, if I do something wrong, this guy's gonna fuck me up. So I'm like, okay, gotta make sure I don't go competitive mode with everybody. Everybody's not a competitor. I gotta make sure I remember that, because if I don't, this guy's gonna choke the shit out of me repeatedly. So I'm like, nah, I gotta make sure it's not me, not me at all.
So just hearing Jay tell that story, it's funny. I don't remember that specific one because there's been a couple times we've had someone come in and trying to be a bully,
Oh yeah.
or like the way they acted, we just had to slow them down a little bit.
All right.
So the question is like the perception of a mat enforcer, and like when is a good time to do it. Like you had someone new, like Jay, that would have been someone else in this particular situation. That might have ran them off if they saw this. Like what the fuck's going on? No, I ain't going back here. Like if that depending on who it was, that was new.
Just a little bit of murder yoga, nothing.
Yeah, simulate murder. Sat bump, simulate murder. But so I just wanted to discuss, in this forum, like the perception of a mat enforcer, like
For me,
yeah.
All right, so for me, I honestly have changed a lot. Early on, I felt like mat enforcers. So I come from a hard background, and when I started, it was like kill or be killed or survive. You just got to be tough and keep showing up. And then I started realizing you train at other gyms, and people train differently at different gyms, and you have to kind of match the energy of that gym. But as far as like a straight up mat enforcer, I feel like if you have a good culture and like everything's laid out in the beginning, and you talk to people and you kind of see where they are and explain shit to people, there really won't be a need for a mat enforcer as long as your culture backs it up. We haven't had to have anybody do anything like that in a really long time.
Oh, it's been a long time, yes.
And it's because of the way we bring people in and talk to people before. Like, we don't just throw them in that fire. And I feel like if you throw people in the fire, they're going to do what they're going to do what comes natural, and it's like, I have to survive. So they're going to do things that'll be like, oh, this dude's a dick. Now we got to beat them up. No, yeah. Where's the mat enforcer? Bam, come kill this guy. Yeah. Right?
And see, it brings up something else. Like, so if you just leave it up to the mat enforcer, like, okay, I need to kill that guy. They're doing something wrong. like it shouldn't be like that either, because then you need a mat enforcer for the mat enforcer. The power's going to his head. So like I feel like like a discussion like, hey Jimmy, what do you think of this guy?
Yeah.
Like,
well, so honestly, I think that most of the time it just comes down to talking to somebody.
yeah.
I don't think there's a need for like a real mat enforcer. I don't personally. I don't think there's a need for a mat enforcer. I will say this though. I still, even with the culture that we have, we have an amazing culture. And with the culture that we have, I have still had people come in that are just dicks.
Right.
And they don't fit. And we have to tell them, you don't fit. And like, look, this is not how we do things. You're not a good fit for our gym. It's our job to turn that person from being a dick into a contributing member of our gym. If we can't flip that switch in them with a talk, by talking to them, they don't need to be in here. And we don't need to hurt them.
No, when we talk about mat enforcer, no one is getting hurt. Like when I've turned it up on someone, I've never hurt anybody.
Yeah.
Like that's not what we're talking about when we talk about mat enforcer.
Yeah, I know that, but
well, I mean, some people watching this may not understand that. They hear mat enforcer and Jay talking about he fucking him up, like they may not understand really what it is.
My understanding of a mat enforcer is like when you see somebody going too hard on a weaker, like you have these guys that just need ego trips, and they'll come in and they'll be a big guy and they'll just go hard on the weaker, smaller. They'll go hard on the weaker, smaller people for no reason, and then it's the mat enforcer's job to say, oh, I'm going to roll with this person. I'm not going to let this person roll with the weaker people or the smaller people or the people that aren't as skilled because they're going to hurt them.
Right.
And it's their job to protect them. And I agree with it to an extent. Like, yeah, we need somebody that's going to protect everybody. I look at it as it is my job to protect everyone inside my school because this is my school. It's my job to make sure we don't have douchebags in here pulling on people's necks or arms or whatever. It's also my job to make them understand why and try to get them on board with how we train here. If we can't get them on board, they got to go. Okay. And that's why our culture is so good, though, because I have just said, hey, dude, you know what? That's not how we train. This isn't a good fit for you. And we've had people call us and say, oh, that they're pussies or they're this and that. Like, they're, because they don't train hard and this and that. It's like, no, we do train hard. Our competitors train hard.
Like, we match each other's level.
And we literally give up positions and work out of them. We train hard. We're not hurting each other. And I think that that's a very clear-cut, like, difference between a school that is trying to compete at the highest level and a school that's just trying to show up and show everyone that they're tough. Because schools that are trying to show everybody that's tough, yeah, you can be gritty. You can't teach tough. You can't teach tough. You either are or you're not. You can't teach that. People can get tougher over time.
I was about to say, I was not tough when I first started, but I feel like I'm tougher now.
You are tougher now, but you can't teach that. That just happened over time. Right? That same mentality, that same stuff that you had a certain amount of resilience for you to keep showing up. You can't teach that. So, like for me, if somebody headbutted me or something, I'd fucking headbutt them back. That's how I was. That's who I was. Like if somebody did something to me, I'm like, oh, cool. I'm gonna do this shit back to you now, and or I'm not gonna let it affect me to that extent, And now I understand even on a deeper level that if you bring people into your gym correctly with the right mentality and the right mindset, you really don't have very much of a need for an enforcer because you can almost see right away. Now, what I use you guys for is anyone that's new. I let my better guys roll with the new person. When we set an appointment, I let Jay or you or Troy or somebody like that roll with them, or Zach, roll with them first. And like fill them out, and then I look at you guys and they're like, yeah, you can let them roll with other people,
Right.
or no, let them roll with us for a little while until we can get them to calm their ass down, until we get them to where they understand flow rolling or rolling without trying to break people. Like, cool, get the arm bar, put it on properly, like make them tap. Don't snatch that shit off, you know? So that's what I think. I think that, and now we still have enforcers, but they're really protectors. They're not enforcers anymore. At our school, it's now protectors because we just use the really good guys as buffers between the guys that are still learning, so that the new people don't come in and try to douchebag them or hurt them.
And I like that, Matt protectors.
Yeah.
And like I say, we do have really good culture, and like what me and Jay were talking about, like nothing like that has happened in a really long time.
It hasn't, because of the way we present it now.
Yeah. Good discussion. Like I said, when he brought that up and all, it had me thinking, and I just wanted to talk about it.
Yeah.
Like the perception of it.
Yeah, and now it's just different.
Yeah.
You know? What's your thoughts, Jay?
I don't know.
Jay's just like, I just beat people's ass, man. What's up?
I about to say, yeah, I just kind of watch it and just see it happen. So I mean, I don't think much about it. Like, just hey, roll with Jay. Jay, this is your partner. This is who you rolling with today. Okay. I don't think too deep about it anymore.
You didn't even realize I used you in that way.
No, not until you kept calling my name. In a good way though. They'd be like, hey Jay, roll with him. Hey, fit him out. Hey, roll with Jay next. See how you do.
Yes, I use you as a buffer to protect the rest of the rest of the tribe. I use you or Bam.
You get me fucked up
like
like big guys. That's what he does. he waits till somebody 300 pounds come in and like, yeah, just roll with Jay. It's the next smallest guy in here. Just roll with him.
Yeah.
Jay is 130 pounds.
Yeah.
And how one of our guys is he's 6'8".
6'8".
He's 330 pounds. So roll with Jay.
Like, roll with him. Get a feel with him. See how he does.
Setting Jay up for failure.
He didn't fail.
He didn't.
Just took a little time. Just took a little time.
Like you said, fill him out.
That's right. Fill him out. See where he's at.
So, last thing I thought that we talk about, because let's say it's been a minute since we were able to do this, remodeling the gym. And I think this goes right along hand in hand with what we've already talked about, like some of the characters that we've seen come through here.
Oh God,
thought,
Taylor's got a great one.
And instead of like, unless there's something else someone wants to talk about, for this be a good way to end it. Like, let's talk about some of the characters that we've seen. We don't have to say names. We just say like this guy and this guy.
I don't remember anyone's names.
I don't either.
Didn't
But
last.
listen,
Me either.
like y'all ask me all the time, like Taylor, like you know so and so. I'm like, I do not. And she's like, oh, that's so and so's parent. Like, got you. Because kids coach, I know the kids. I don't know any of the parents. And she tells me all the time like a parent's name, and I just look at her with the dumbest look like, I don't know who you're talking about.
All I got to say is y'all are lucky. I got to know these kids' names, these parents' names, these adult members' names, the adult members' kids' names, the adult members' spouses' names. Like, I got
Like, parents come to me and like, hey, you're doing such a good job, or like, just want to tell you thank you. And I just, all right, man, thank you. Yeah. I still don't know their names. I don't know the kids. Because I work with the kids every day.
So I don't work with the kids or the parents, so I don't know either one of them's names. I'm just like, hey guys, how y'all doing today?
So let's start. You said Taylor had a good one. Let's start with that one. I know I got a couple off the top of my head, but
Taylor, tell them about your superhero.
oh yes.
Oh my gosh. So I set the appointments. I'm the first line of contact for everyone that comes in the gym, unless it's someone that just stops by and talks to us. But that's still usually me.
Right.
But so anyway, this guy, he had messaged and he was like, I really want to do martial arts. Like, I want to be one of the greatest fighters of all time. I'm like, cool. Come try it out. Here's your appointment. This man comes in. He pulls up, before class even starts, he walks in with some YouTube videos pulled up and says, I want to be able to do this. This man wanted to be a superhero. He had videos pulled up where, like, he was fighting people, or on YouTube. These people were fighting a group of people without touching them. They were like, and like knocking people
whooshy
over.
bullshit.
Yeah,
No touch.
That chakra.
yeah. I was like, well, we don't really do that here, but you'll learn jujitsu. You will learn how to be a fighter. So he done class. I think he done fine. I mean, he partnered up. He did class. Well,
I think we did
he
a
told-
choke that night, and he did okay.
Well, he came up to me afterwards and he said, I need to know how to fight more than one person at a time. And I said, okay, like, 2 or 3, like, what we looking at? And he was like, I need to be able to handle whatever's coming at me. And I was like, Jimmy! So I called him over. I was like, I don't know what to do about this. And he started showing Jimmy superhero videos. And I was like, I can't do this, sir.
And
like,
I asked him, I said, so what are your goals? He was like, oh, I want to be a superhero.
yeah.
Straightest face. He meant that shit. I was like,
He wanted superpowers.
What? He was like, no, I want to be a superhero. I got to be able to fight off 4 or 5 bad guys at a time.
He thought he was Batman.
And I said,
Yes.
I said,
He thought he
what?
was Batman.
Like,
That
I
man
was-
showed me 10 YouTube videos.
I was dumbfounded. I was like,
Damn, that should have been my response when I first came in. Like, I want to be a superhero.
Yeah.
bro,
I should have trolled.
he 100%, like, he meant that shit. He was not playing. And then he told me, like, the anime that he watches and stuff, and he was like, I want to get that good. And I said, well, jiu-jitsu is probably... I
Please
said,
tell me the anime.
I don't remember, but I told
This would be
him...
a decent anime.
This man's about to say One Punch Man.
Dude,
Give it up. Give it up.
dude, I told him, I said, jiu-jitsu is probably the closest thing that you'll ever get to having a superpower, bud. And I was like, you got to come in here and learn that. He was like, yeah, but this really don't help me with multiple people.
He
I
was
was-
sad.
I was like, yeah, but I was like, Batman trains jiu-jitsu. And then I told him, I was like, but probably if there's multiple people, your best option is probably to run. He's like, nah. This guy here, and he showed me like some Aikido guy that was like making lines of people fall down. And I'm like, that's not real. And he was like, oh, yeah, I've talked to people that have experienced it and stuff. This is what I need to learn. I guess this isn't the right place. Okay. Let us know how it works out for you, man.
We have no vigilante in Eastman yet, so
It hadn't worked out yet unless he moved.
He had to move to get that kind of training.
Yeah.
He had to go to the monk's temple.
that's the hardest part about this job, though, for real. Like being the one that sets the appointments, the business person of the place is.
Yeah.
I have to keep my demeanor when people tell me stupid shit like
I'm about to say
that.
to keep a straight
Like,
face. I would laugh every trip. Every trip I would laugh.
Oh, the one that you wanted to talk about was good too.
Oh yeah.
Who was yours?
It makes me look kind of bad, but it's what like I'll tell you the whole story exactly how it happened.
This was like my first interaction with Jay, if it's the story that I'm thinking about.
Got any mustard?
Yes,
Okay.
it was me and Jake.
So okay,
Man.
this is one of those times you're like, hey, roll with so and so. I'm like, okay, cool, I'll roll with them. We good culture by this point, no mat enforcer, nothing. You're just like, hey, feel them out, roll with them. You walk off, I'll roll with this guy. I'm like, cool, we roll. I'll tell more about the roll after, like, I'll introduce it to people. We roll, it's cool. I go off to another roll. I hear people talking. I look over, this man is on the edge of the mat, like, passed out on the ground, like, done.
Didn't you get him the water? Wasn't it you or was it someone else that grabbed his water?
No, someone else. I think it was Jay. Jay helped him with like a bucket or something.
I got him the water.
You got
Jimmy got in
him.
the
Because
water.
he actually puked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was
Yes.
leaning
He
on.
Not
wait.
in the bucket.
Wait.
On the mat.
I asked that dude.
No. Yeah.
I said, go outside. He said, I think I'm going to be sick. I said, go outside because the bathroom's farther. That door was right there.
I
Yeah.
would have rather him
No,
stay
see.
on the mat.
Exactly. The mat would have been easier, but he puked on the carpet, right?
Bro, he just rolled off the mat and puked on the carpet.
So, and you're like, who did you roll with? Like, you were getting mad. And he's like, I think you called him Bam Bam. You called me over there. And I'm like, what is going on?
He just over there is like,
Yeah, I go over there and he goes, what did you do to him? I'm like, Jimmy, legitimately,
I barely.
he pulled guard on me. Like we started kneeling and he like kind of jumped in the guard and then he just controlled my wrist. That was it. I said I didn't even pass. I just stayed in the man's guard and just went off his pace. And all he did was throw triangle armbar, I defend, and then he tried again for 5 minutes. That's all we did. I was in the man's guard. And he goes, no, something else must happen for him to be that tired. I'm like, Jimmy, I promise you, I stayed in this man's guard like nothing happened. He kept trying to attack, so I just defended, feeling him out, see how he did. He muscled everything, like real tight. That's it. And then he looks. By this time he had puked. You got him the bucket. He looks at someone.
He's like slumped up.
He looks at me and Taylor.
And he goes, got any mustard?
Mustard. Why would we have mustard?
And I think I look at Jay. You just asked for mustard?
Yeah, I shook my head at him. I said, it's too damn late for that. It's too late for that.
Yeah. So I started cleaning up the throat. This is the first time I remember you, other than the takedown thing with Jimmy, but I started cleaning up the throw up. And Jay came over there and started cleaning it up too. And I was like, no, this is my job. I get it. And he was like, no, you shouldn't have to clean this up. And I still don't really eat chicken nuggets. Because remember, it was chicken nuggets and coffee.
He's like, don't ruin it for me.
Yeah.
But so we're checking on the guy. Like, hey, do you need a ride home? Like, I thought the man was dying.
And he stayed in the parking lot
I was about to say,
hours.
I was about to say, so he goes, no, I'm good. I live down the road. I'm like, dude, one of us can drive your car and we'll take you home. He's like, no. So he leaves. We think he's gone. Me and you walked next door because that's when we were going to the gym next door
Lifting weights.
before I got my setup at the house. And this was like, what, an hour and a half, 2 hours later?
At least 2 hours later.
2 hours later. He's sitting in the car with the windows down, and we're like, ain't that?
That's the guy.
And so we like kind of knock on her like, hey, you good? Yeah, I'm just resting. Like, do you sure? Like, will you need a ride home? Do we need to call somebody? No. And we had already asked him multiple times, so me and Jim was like, okay, so we just go to the gym. Like, we have tried, but he does not want any help. And I still don't know if Jimmy believes me. I stayed in the man's guard. I really did not do anything.
Yeah, that dude looked me in the eyes and he goes, he's going to be sick. I said, go out the door. He just rolled over and sat there. He had plenty of time to get out.
He's hanging
He kept laying
out.
down. I kept telling him, I was like, you keep doing that, she's going to throw up. Like, I played football. I know how this ends. You keep laying down, you're going to throw up.
Yeah.
It just,
He
no,
did,
I just
too.
want to rest for a second. Okay.
Mm.
As soon as he said it, he just relaxed. And he just, like, yeah, there it is.
Yeah, I told him, I was like, go outside. This man just hopped off the mat and laid there and then threw up on the floor. And I was like, ah. And then I walk over to him and he goes, you got any mustard? And I said, what?
But he never peeked his head up off the ground.
Never.
He never peeked his head up off the ground to throw up anything. He just turned his head to the side and turned back and looked at us. You have any mustard? It's too
Nah,
late for that.
fam.
Who's your favorite person? The superhero guy?
Has to be. I don't know. We've had some.
I was going to say another one, and this will be more Jimmy's story. The one that, I got to quit playing. And then
He might have
Forum.
been the one the most memorable for
Yeah.
me, just because
I feel
of
like
the
he-
way he acted.
I was about to say the
about
way
it.
he acted, he's
Yeah.
kind of a douche.
Yeah.
You want to tell the story?
I'll let you tell it and then I'll tell it.
I'll tell
No,
from my
no.
perspective.
Okay.
Because I don't know much. Like, you're going to tell the majority of it. So it's a new guy. Nothing's out the ordinary. And you're rolling with him. Taking it easy. Like, I can... Because I'm actually like by the cage in the corner or something so I can see across the mat. And you're just showing him jiu-jitsu. Like oh, hey, yeah, like moving around him. Like, he's doing... He signed that contract. He's doing 9% of the work and you're just moving around him.
Yeah.
You're not killing him. You're not demolishing him. You're not a mat enforcer. Like, you're just moving around him. and you catch them in a triangle or armbar or something like what you usually catch new people in a guillotine or triangle or something. You caught them in something like that. I don't remember the submission.
It's triangle.
He jumps up, and like I see out the corner of my eye, and I put the pieces together, and I'm still rolling, and he jumps up, and I feel like he dusted himself off or shook his shoulders, and he goes, "I guess I got to quit playing." And he said it in a way I audibly from across the mat start laughing because I'm like, "Wait, is he joking? Is he real?" Like, or he's about to try to turn up on Jimmy, or he's joking. Either way, that's funny.
Yeah.
Like, so I audibly laughed when he said, "Oh, I got to quit playing." So then I positioned my partner like, "I got to see this."
So now they're not really rolling anymore.
Because my partner,
they both stopped looking.
Yeah, because my partner, like, they heard it too, like, "Oh, okay, what is up now?"
And he proceeded to try to kill me.
He also left us a review. Not a review.
It was a
He put
forum.
it-
That's why I said the story
forum, yeah.
continues.
Yeah.
A forum.
Yeah. So first of all, on his thing, he apparently trains, and didn't he say he was a black belt or something like that?
I don't know.
But no. That's a different guy.
Yeah, we had.
Yeah,
another
that
one
was a
who did
different
that.
guy. Because on this, yeah. So
you have another story apparently too.
yeah, we do.
Okay.
But this guy in particular, he went on a group that I'm a part of, and was like, I went to a new gym, and that guy, like, that basically everybody was saying that our school was a McDojo. That because of the way the guy worded everything,
He made it sound like he just got absolutely like bullied, and
Yeah.
destroyed.
he made it sound like he come here and I just like
Beat him up.
beat the
for
crap
no
out of
reason.
him for no reason. And here's what actually happened. He told me when at the beginning of the roll, he goes, "I'm not gonna take it easy on you." He said, no, I'm sorry. Because I'm getting
The two mixed up.
I'm getting the two mixed up. At the beginning of mine in this guy's roll, he slapped bump, and he was like, I have some training. And I said, oh, cool. And I was like, yeah, we're going to roll whatever. So we slap bump. I start moving around with him, and he's like trying really hard, like, ooh, ooh, and he's grunting. He's like slamming my knees, and I just keep putting him back in front of my guard. And like he like tucked his hand. I put him in a triangle. Now, when I say I put him in a triangle, I didn't even squeeze. I just kind of had like the inside of his leg and just turned the corner, and he tapped. And it upset him that he had to tap. And he went, oh. He was like, oh, it's time for me to get real. He was like, I ain't even going to play with you no more. And I said, what? And he stood up and he said, it's time for me to stop playing, son.
That's when I laugh.
And I was like, okay. So, all right. And we slapped bump. And then he went like, and then he was like bouncing me off the mat, like trying to like shake me and like move. Like he was just like slinging me side to side and like bouncing me. And I kind of just like tied him up, held on. I went back to triangle. I triangled him again. And then like we slap bumped, and then we was playing around, and like he was still trying to sling me around, and I armbarred him. And then I was like, all right, chill, calm down. And I was like, no, dude, like this is why we're here. We're here to learn. And like I had a conversation. She's like, yeah, man, I'm coming back. That was amazing. I had never felt anything like that. Nobody's ever made me feel that way. That night, he goes into a BJJ forum and types up this long post about how it was his first day. And one of the instructors there flipped him on his head and put him in all kind of chokeholds and choked him out. And everybody else is in the comments like, don't go back there. That's the McDojo. It sounded like he had something to prove. It sounded like he was this and that, da-da-da-da-da. And then I commented. And I'm like, well, actually, what happened is he tried to kill me. He told everybody in the class that he wasn't playing with me. And he commenced to trying to sling me around and slam me and flip me over. And all I did to him was trap his arm and triangle him twice. I armbarred him off of a triangle one time. but never even like fully extended or finished. He just gassed himself out and got really tired and sick. And then everybody was like, oh, well, that's just because you're spazzing on him. Stop fucking spazzing, dummy. And like, then it went from McDojo, this and this and this, to, oh, you was a spazzy ass white belt that said you wasn't playing that tried to challenge an instructor. That makes more sense. And like, it just like went down that rabbit hole. But like, there was like 200 comments about how I shouldn't have smashed him. And then I commented, and then it was like another 200 comments of, oh, you're a spazzy ass white belt that challenged a coach, stupid. Like, you shouldn't have done that, dummy. But yeah, that guy's like, that's it, son. I ain't playing no more. Like, oh, okay.
That's one of those like you hear from across the gym, and you wait, what?
It's like, I'm not playing no more. I'm not playing, son. It's time to show you what's up. What? He told me it's time to show you what's up. I said, huh? I'm not playing with you anymore. Like, oh,
you got me fighting a crazy man. this is a crazy guy.
Okay.
The Key and Peele skit. Like, y'all got me actually fighting a crazy guy? This ain't cool.
This is not cool, man.
Like, he knows we just talking, right?
But now we have another one that did the same thing. But he come in and told us he didn't tell us he was a black belt. He told us that he trained with Japanese jiu-jitsu, and that he trained with another guy. I know the other guy. The other guy is not legit. He didn't know how to shrimp. Like, he didn't know hip escapes or anything. He come here for a private lesson one time, but then he owned his own school. And I told him, like, you don't need to be teaching Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu because you don't really know it. I told the guy this. He still owns a school, still teaches. But two of his students, come here, and he was like, oh, yeah, I've trained for this long, this and that. I'm like, cool, where'd you train? He told me, and I was like, oh, okay. So I didn't have the heart to tell him. Like, I don't like being that guy. I don't want to talk shit about other people. I don't want to be involved in that. I don't want to be involved in he said, she said. But I also don't want people to do like I did. I spent 4 years at a McDojo before I realized I was at a McDojo. Then I spent 2 years at a place that wasn't a McDojo, but it wasn't a legit training facility. It was just like, who can be tougher? Because the guy was teaching legit shit, but he still had that, we're going to knock each other out every day mentality. So I spent 6 years training with the wrong mentality, with the wrong people. And I want to keep people from having that. And I think the only way that you can do that is to call a fucking spade a spade and say this person is not a legit Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu trainer or whatever you want to call it. So I didn't want to call him out, but at the same time I did. But I did want to call him out. I didn't call him out, but I wanted to. So anyway, the guy trained, and I don't remember who I matched him up with. I matched him up with Bryant. He was matched with Bryant. Him and Bryant, and then Jansen. And I put him with Jansen and Bryant. And Jansen, like, flipped him over and, like, put his weight on him and, like, did whatever he wanted to him. And at the time, Jansen had only been training for a couple of months. And Bryant trains, but Bryant trains, like, twice a month. Still.
Yeah.
And that's been his schedule for over 2 years. He trains twice a month. But, like, it was clear that this guy had never really grappled anybody that understood grappling at all. And he went to roll with me at the end of class, like he wanted to roll. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll roll. And we rolled, and he was trying all this weird stuff that was just, I guess if you understood positioning and stuff, maybe some of it would have worked. But like if you're not controlling somebody or putting your weight on them or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
So like there was just stuff, and I just kept taking his back and like moving around. I never even submitted him. Like never even submitted a guy. But like he was trying really hard, and I would put him in stuff and then let go. And he has a podcast I did not know about. But he gave me his information and said, hey, I'm coming back Monday, add me on here or whatever, and we'll talk. And I was like, cool. So I added him. Well, then on his Twitter, it said he's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Like, in his stuff. Like, when he gave me his information, it asked me about adding him to my social medias and stuff. Well, then he went and wrote this whole thing about, I trained over here tonight. Those guys are all right. Like, they're not on our level or whatever. Like they're all right. And then, like, did a podcast about, which his podcast was about sports and stuff, about how different the schools were and stuff like that. But, like, he went in about, oh, yeah, they're all right. They're different from ours. We're more, our school's more about understanding the techniques in depth. They're more about, their school's more about just trying to make things work from where they are. And like, he went through this whole thing, and then he like posted it, and then there was comments under and stuff, and I was just like, oh, cool. I never even said anything, never even commented, never even got on there and said anything, like never tweeted anything. Like, I messaged him a few times, when you coming back? But I never even acknowledged that he was a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt on his bio, like on his Facebook, on his Twitter. I never even acknowledged any of that. And he's like the fourth person that's come to our school claiming to be a black belt that couldn't even beat like a one-stripe white. But
I don't know what possesses people to do stuff like that.
Right.
Like, how...
where that man at?
Like, how bad, like, ego trip do you have? And, like, I just don't understand.
He got to be deep. To just want to dump in that deep part of the water. Just like, I'm a black belt. Haven't trained a day in your life. It's like saying you could beat Usain Bolt and you don't run track.
No.
Like, I'm ready to bet $1 million against him. Are you? Are you really? It is retarded.
Yeah. I play basketball at a rec. I'm about to beat LeBron.
Shooting that deep three.
Like,
Kobe!
Kobe. Kobe. Nah.
Airballs it.
It's like, who are you? Just throw it way over the goal.
Yeah, like,
Kobe.
all right, Shaq.
I lost all my skills. Space Jam, the original one, when they took their skills and they were like, yeah. Anyway, there's so many black belts that come in here that aren't black belts. For real.
Have I seen anybody that claim to be a black belt?
I don't think
You've
so.
probably seen a brown belt. We had a brown belt one time.
Yeah, we had a guy that was a brown belt that come in.
You gotta start pointing these guys out to me. I'm missing all the good fun of people claiming to be like, just be like, hey,
Him.
He's one.
Just point him out. He's one.
he's the one.
Wait, that dude come and train for almost 2 months.
Brown
And
belt guy?
No. He
Yeah.
paid us for almost 2 months. I think he only showed up 3 or 4 times.
okay. Well, I knew he was a member for like 2 months.
He's still like once in a blue moon, don't he?
Yeah, he'll
Man.
swing in and talk.
Yeah.
You know.
That's why I didn't want to say too much about him.
The
Yeah.
brown belt?
Yeah.
I'm missing these people.
Kind of a
Just
like a
let
creeper.
me know. Just next time if you see me.
Those pictures.
yeah.
Ah, my butt.
He posted pictures of Taylor's butt all over his Instagram. Training jiu-jitsu. Yeah. But anyway, that he come and train for a couple months, like 2 months here and there. And he was like, can I still wear my brown belt? And I gave out a whole story. I was like, look, dude, if you're like, there's people that come in here that claim to be purple belts that aren't really purple belts. There's people that come in. I was like, the mat don't lie. The mat will let you know where you are. And people can claim what they want to claim, but the mat does not lie. Like, if you've been training this long, it's gonna be very obvious that you've been training that long.
Why don't they ever just claim to be like a blue belt? Like they always try to go extreme. Like, yeah, I'm a black.
They
belt.
don't know. They don't know any better.
No.
They don't even know the culture. Like one person. This is the funniest story.
You are retarded.
He showed up, bro, and told me he was a black belt. And I said, "For real? Really? Who'd you get your black belt under?" "Oh, I train in Fitzgerald." I said, "Fitzgerald? There's a black belt in Fitzgerald?" And we're talking about, this was like 8 years ago. There's a black belt in Fitzgerald. And he was like, "Yeah, it's a Mexican." And I said, "Well, a Mexican?" He said, "Yeah, it's a Mexican named Henry." I said, "So a Mexican named Henry gave you a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?"
That's the way to refer to your instructor.
And he
he's a
said,
Mexican.
"Yes." And I was like, "How long did you train with him?" He was like, "About 6 years." And I said, "And you just introduced him to me as a Mexican named Henry?" And he goes, "Well, I didn't figure you would know him. I was telling you a little bit about him." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Why did you have to tell me he was a Mexican? You could have just said this guy named Henry who looks like such and such.
Like
is over here.
Jay,
Gave me my
The
let me
name
ask,
of his school.
let me ask you a question, sir. Who do you train with?
this white guy. This bald-headed white guy
Yeah. Where do you train at?
in this building in front of the police station with this white guy.
Right. Does that sound normal to you?
No, it sounds like I'm getting beat the fuck up.
Bro, you would be like, "Oh, I train with Jimmy Barnett at Tech Center."
Yeah.
You wouldn't be like, "Oh, I train with a Mexican." A Mexican, yeah. Well, who? Oh, Mexican named Henry. Like, that was my first red flag. My second red flag was he didn't know how to do the warm-ups. He didn't know how to shrimp, forward roll, backward roll. He didn't know none of that. Then, like, we hip tossed him, put our weight on him, and he tapped out to pressure. And I was like, "You're not really a black belt." And like that's probably something you shouldn't lie about. You go to another school and lie about that, they'll probably beat you up. And he was like, "Oh, okay." But anyway, I was excited about getting to train with him, and then he showed up and he was not a black belt. He just messaged me, "I'm a black belt, I'm in town and I train." Like, "Yeah. Where'd you get your black belt?" "Mexican."
Mexican named Henry.
I said, "What?"
Mexican got on boots.
Mexican got on boots. Mexican named Henry. And then we had another one. He was training fighters here in town. And he said he was a black belt. He was a black belt in Harakaru, a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, a black belt in Japanese Jiu-Jitsu.
Rockaroo.
It's like sword fighting.
Is that real?
I have no idea. I have no.
I didn't know they called sword fighting Harakaru.
It's like a martial art that is sword fighting. And someone has given me a card before that said they were a black belt in Harakaru, and told me
it's wrong.
I'm probably saying it wrong.
Don't kill us if we're saying this wrong.
Yeah, don't kill us. We're sorry.
With
Right.
swords.
But basically, you start out from a sitting position, and then you like practice pulling your sword out and like striking from there, and you use jiu-jitsu with swords to subdue people, from my understanding. But the only person that I've heard this from was also from a person that was claiming they were a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu that didn't know what guard was.
We got to see John Wick do it first.
But so this person had a fight team, and he was training people here in Eastman and taking them to fights, and they were getting beat up. In which some of those guys were just tough. Like one of them's one of my really good friends, and when I come down, I was like, "Oh, I want to train with him." I train with him. I'm like, this dude doesn't know anything. Like, y'all need to get away from him. He's not teaching you anything of value. Like, the only reason one of you did good in your fights is because you have a wrestling background and you're greedy. So, and like, we called him out, but that he posted so nobody ever said anything to him about his black belt.
Right.
But then he posted a thing on Facebook and said, we are the best in Middle Georgia. No one can beat us, or some shit like that. Dude, that post had like 1,000 comments on it. And it, like, Bubby, Richard Cox, Team Reality, like, they were like, you ain't fucking better than us, homie.
Send address.
Yeah, basically. Like, they, it was bad. And then, like, I was like, dude, you're not a real black belt. Stop claiming that. And then he blocked me on Facebook and made a post about me. Well, like, Alan and some other people were still friends with him, and they're my family. And they sent me screenshots of what he said. That is the only person to this day that I've ever called out to fight. To this day. And he supposedly had a record of 8-2. No one's ever seen him fight, but he supposedly had 8-2. I posted my little story. I was like, dude, I'll weigh in with change in my pockets. We'll do this at any place. We can do it at with your promoters and your matchmakers, or we can do it with mine, who everybody knows. Because no one knows any of your people. And I told him I'd weigh in with change in my pocket. I was pissed. I was like, we can do this. And then he said some other stuff under his page, and everybody was screenshotting and sent him. I was like, no, I ain't got nothing to say. And then people started commenting on mine, and they were tagging him in the comments. And then his girlfriend got on my page and was like, y'all need to leave him alone. This is borderline bullying and this and that. And I'm like, how is this bullying? He's talking shit about me on my page on his page after he blocked me. And then he's saying he's the best, he's this and that. I'm here. I'm fucking part of Middle Georgia, homie. Bubby and them was like, we are Middle Georgia. And then Richard was like, dude, you're talking shit about all of us. We're all from here. Like, and he unblocked me, made a comment, and then blocked me again. So it looked like he was responding on my page to everybody else. But I couldn't see what he was saying. But everybody else in my comment section could see what he was saying. So I had to screenshot and said, this is what I see. And then everybody screenshot and said, this is what he said. Because it looked funny because people were replying to him. But I couldn't figure out where the other people who they were commenting to, because I couldn't see what he was saying. And it was just weird. But anyway, I called him out, and then I told him at the end of it, I was like, I said what I had to say. Like, you want to fight? Like, we can do it. We can do it with your promoters and my promoters. We can do it with a cage, with the thing, whatever. And then he was like, well, if a real man wanted to do it, he'd meet me in the street or some shit. I was like, well, I'll be at the gym. Right, this gym. I said, I'll be there today and tomorrow. Come on by.
That's even worse. I would want a referee there to.
Yeah, somebody to save your fucking life.
Yeah, at least help me. Like, no, I ain't fought a day in my life. I want to go fight somebody in the middle of the alley with nobody around. Like, nah.
But no, me and him's cool now. Like, he admitted to what he did and like said he was sorry. So
You say why he did it?
No, he didn't understand. He just thought that the little bit of training that he had and stuff was
Everything.
Like, he makes out like he bought into what someone else had told him and done for him. And there really was a guy at one point.
That was legit.
No, he was not. There was a guy that was not legit. The guy wasn't legit, but he had a bunch of students telling them that what he was teaching them was legit. and was belting and doing things like that. And I think that I'm about to say his name. I think that this person got put, that was under that guy. I think that that's what happened. So he technically wasn't lying. He just didn't know any better. Because that's what's going on in Dublin right now. There's a place like that in Dublin right now. And
Let's go.
yeah, I thought about Dojo Storm.
Let's go, man.
But I don't want to be that guy.
Let me be that guy.
Yeah.
Just take me and you can sit.
But I want to call him out because I think it's hurting people and giving people false sense of whatever. But I also don't want to be that guy because I don't want people doing stupid shit to our school or like I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with that with our school. I want our school to have such a fun, loving environment and just positivity. And if I start talking shit or start putting that out, I might receive it in return, and I don't want to deal with that. I want everybody to know like we're cool and we're just trying to get better and train and
see. But I'm looking more into the perspective of people learning it, but knowing what's legit and what's not. Like I don't want people to be going in there wasting a year of their life, and then they don't really know shit.
Yeah, I wasted 4 of mine that way.
You know what I'm
saying? I was pissed, dude. Could you imagine showing up and thinking what you're doing is real, and you got the goal of being a fighter or the goal of being in the UFC or a goal of being a world champion of jiu-jitsu, and then you go to a legit place 4 years later and realize that everything you learned was all wrong. It wasn't right, and you have to unlearn really bad habits of grappling that you've been doing and relearn it the right way. That's trash, ain't it?
Yeah, I bet that sucked.
That's what I did. Dude, triangles, arm bars, like we were doing that shit right in front of our opponent. No angles, like no hip outs. Didn't know what a shrimp was. Been training 4 years, didn't know what a shrimp was. Didn't know what hip escapes was. I spent 2 years just getting up. My coach told me, he said, you're little and you're a striker. You need to learn how to get up. Spent 2 years just coming in, running my 5 miles because that was a requirement. You had to run 5 miles. Come in, then you stretch, you spar him fully geared up. Then I would go to the corner and lay on my back, and he would just randomly change out the guys. And my job was just to get back to my feet. I did that for 2 years. That was it. For 2 years. And honestly, once I started learning technique at a better school, like at a legit place, like, dude, it's hard to hold me down now. Because I spent 2 years just getting out from under people not knowing how. Now, and then I learned how. I'm like, shit, this is pretty easy compared to the way I was doing it before. So now it's different. But anyway, we've been on for 1 hour and 43 minutes.
We had some good stuff to talk about and catch up.
Oh, it was fun. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You guys got anything y'all want to add? Y'all have any funny stories before we get off here?
I'm good. I got a new dog. I'm ready to go home and play with my new dog.
No.
Taylor wants a new dog.
I really do. But I don't want that puppy phase again. Our dog burned our house down.
This is true.
True story.
I don't know if I'm prepared to do that again. So, I'm on the fence.
I know Jay threw me on my back the first day he was in the gym.
I don't recall.
I was scared.
I didn't land on my back, did I?
Nah, he hit a front flip.
Front twist to a shot step.
I saw that.
Turtle. You seen it?
I did, because Jimmy, he mouthed to me like, he tried to put me on my head. He tried to dump me on my head.
You're going to have to post the other podcast with Jay before you post this one, because we talk about that with him.
Yeah, this one is already up. This one here is
See how
you
he
missed
do?
your whole
See how he do
story.
me? And I was just scrolling and refreshing. I'm like, I probably missed it. Just kept refreshing and refreshing.
Nah,
Because you told him like it'll be up like next week.
yeah, it was supposed to be up that Thursday, but here's what happened. YouTube was tripping and wouldn't allow me to upload stuff. So I had to reset all of my my passwords and everything. So I reset all that stuff, and then it wouldn't let me upload. I haven't uploaded a Coach Jimmy in 2 months. It's been 2 months because it wouldn't let me do it. So,
And now it's letting you go live.
well, you remember it wouldn't let me go live at the last
Strange Matter.
Strange Matter. So I fixed it that week. Then I started doing all this repairs and all this other crap. So I haven't posted or done anything. I got like 15 Coach Jimmy videos that I got to post. I got stuff that Trevor's editing to post. I probably got 5 podcasts that I got to post.
There was that one that we're like, no, we ain't doing that.
Oh, there's one podcast I'm not posting. I was trying to play devil's advocate, and I come out like I was some kind of damn. I was trying to make it better, and it just made it worse. I was like, nope, we're not doing this one. We'll talk about this subject, but I'm gonna voice how I really feel later.
Yes.
Yeah, that one was bad. It wasn't bad.
It was bad.
It wasn't bad.
It was bad.
It was just like I was trying to point out, like, well, devil's advocate, like, this is better, this is worse, whatever. And it just, because I do that, I troll the shit out of people all the
Oh,
time.
it's so annoying.
I like it.
I don't. I told him the other day, I said, I don't know how you really feel. I said, you could hate me for all I know. Like,
This whole relationship is you trolling me.
Yeah.
The relationship is a troll.
like, who really knows at this point?
I like it. I like just trolling people and like just the belief on their face. They like,
Dude, he's had me
Oh.
like straight up crying because I'll sit down and I'm like, these are my dreams, like this is what I want, and he will go like complete opposite on me. Like he legitimately told me one day that if we had a kid, he didn't want it if it was a girl. He said I wouldn't love it. I'd want to get rid of
see,
her.
that's some me. That's
No, and I was legitimately crying because I was like,
yeah. See, that
I'm
was
never
just-
having a kid with him because I said if it's a girl, I'm gonna be depressed. I'm never having a kid with him.
I would have milked the situation. I seen you cry. I would have kept going.
That's how I walked
Just a
away.
little bit. I would have
I
kept going
left.
just a little bit. I would have, but I would have laughed so you know I was playing.
I had a meltdown. I was like, you know what? I don't even want to talk to you. I was like, I'm not doing any of this shit with you. I'm done.
We're getting ready to close, Mom. If we're not
Yeah.
going, I gotta use the restroom.
No, we're done. We're done. Guys, that's Tech Talk. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. We're going to try to go live every single time. It will be from Tech Talk, not Coach Jimmy. I'm going to move this one over. The rest of them will be live. We're going to try to continue to do that. And then we also have Tech Talk clips. You guys need to follow that. Trevor is starting to break down the best stories of our podcast and just clipping them so that we can make little shorts and stuff like that, because I just want to give you guys an opportunity to see without having to watch all of it, the clips, and then decide whether or not it's a topic you want to watch. So that's Tech Talk. Like, subscribe, hit the bell. This particular one was shot on Coach Jimmy. Like, subscribe, hit that bell too, because I get into depth with jiu-jitsu moves. I talk about culture in the gym and how to make it better, how to make your gyms better, and how to support your gyms and things like that. I do a lot of stuff like that on there. I absolutely love doing all this stuff. This is my hobby here. So if you guys want to support us and by giving us a like, thumbs up, subscribe, and all that stuff, it helps me out. And as always, let us know if you want us to talk about something or if you got any questions. That's Jay, Bam, Taylor. And I'm Coach Jimmy. Man, you guys have a good night. Peace.